Hey, what's up, Clashers? Turn 56 from iKonik here, bringing you another base breakdown video. This video here is the highlight attack from iKonik War 109, a 3-star attack by nWo for life. So, as always with these attacks, I will go through the base breakdown, talk about the strategy, why it'll be effective on this base, we'll look at the traps, and then we'll go ahead and watch the replay, see how it worked out. So this being a cleanup attack, we knew where the traps were, all of the traps on this base. So Town Hall 8, that is 3 giant bombs, which were here. Barb King was trying to hide that one, but you can't hide from me, buddy. And the Teslas were around there somewhere, more or less. So, what strategy to use on a base like this? Well, there's three things I should say, that jump out at me above all else on this one. The first thing is, look at this gap right here. It's too wide. This is 3 spaces wide, which means there is a little gap right there where you can deploy your troops. Now, I've talked about this before in war. It's a horrible idea when you're designing a base to leave a gap like that. Even with all these traps around there, it can work sometimes on your farming base, because you get these farming armies and they see those gaps and like, oh, I'm just going to drop all of my troops all at the same time right there and see what happens. And it can work sometimes, but in war it's awful. If someone can customize their army for your base, really bad idea. All Lights Out does is drop beep 1 barbarian there, and it pops both of those big bombs. 2 of his 3 big bombs are done for the price of 1 troop space. So really bad base defense design there, and good eye by Lights for seeing that little gap there. Beyond that, there's two other things that jump out at me. The clan castle is dead center, so this guy's gone out of his way to make the lure really hard for this base. It can be done, but I think Lights just decided. Sorry, I say Lights. That's his second account here, nWo. He just decided, I'm just gonna go for it, and he brings the right army composition to meet a clan castle like that as well. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But the main thing that jumps out at me on this base is, look at these big old chambers. These types of bases are made for gowiwiho or go wipe, depending on what level you're at and what kind of troops you have. Big chambers. There are some walls out there, yes, but there are 4, 5, sometimes 6 buildings in each chamber. The witches love to run across these big chambers. The skeletons are able to get way out ahead of them, so they can pre-trigger traps, bombs and spring traps and all those things. So that's a good way to go on this. So that is how nWo attacks this. He brings a gowiwiho, a golem-based army with a few wizards and witches, and then 5 hogs on the back end. So the very first step is already done here. He's popped this bomb here. He's going to come in from this side here, the southeast. He has, if you see this air defense over here and how far away all of these buildings are that can target air units, he has a free cannon here. All he has to do is drop 1 balloon to drift in here. That's going to take that cannon out, even with a level 5 balloon. Nothing's attacking it, so it drops 3 bombs and it takes that sucker out. So that's nice and efficient there. He also starts building a funnel right away. He puts a couple minions down here to take out these army camps. That's going to force all of the rest of his troops to come in these 2 chambers here. He drops a couple of golems coming out on each side here, and with a lot of wall breakers, he's going to break this open. He definitely invests in the wall breakers because he knows there's a lot of damage coming in. There's the splash damage coming in from this mortar, coming in from this wizard tower, and lots of point defense as well. So he invests pretty heavily because he needs to get through here, these walls. But look at what happens once he gets through these walls. That's half the defenses that he's going to be able to take out. His golems are going to push in here. Half of these defenses, there's going to be 4 here and 4 or 5 here, I guess, with that Tesla. couple of cannons off to the side here, but they are really not that big of a concern. For the price of those wall breakers he's pushed in here, it's going to completely wipe this out. This is where he meets the clan castle, and he brought the right troops for this. He invested nicely in his spells. I think if you're not going to lure, if you're going to take the chance of meeting the clan castle troops in the interior of a base while your troops are also under fire from defensive buildings, it's not a controlled environment. You have to invest heavily in your wizards and in your spells. So he drops a rage spell there, and he also drops a heal spell, and that's going to keep them up while they're meeting these clan castle troops. They're going to take them out as well as starting to take out these as well. At this point, as his golems are pushing a little bit further, they're going to come up against these walls. He still has his ranged DPS, so his wizards are going to take this guy out. He manages to break through a couple of these walls, but even at this point, his golems get out ahead, and they're still tanking. He still has 2 tanks up and running for all of his DPS. Right when they reach these walls here, as these buildings start to be distracted and start attacking these golems, here's where he drops his hogs. Hogs come in from the side. He only has 5, but they do great work. He doesn't have to worry about the big bombs anymore. Those have all been popped. So they come in and they start taking out these buildings. He's got one more heal spell for them. That'll go down around here in this compartment. And by the time these guys have cleared through this wall here, the hogs and the gowiwiho portion of the army meet in this chamber, and then I'll push into this, and at that point it's just cleanup. He's got a ton of troops left over, and more than enough to do the cleanup on this base. So a really nice attack, a really nice gowiwiho, which is a technique that's very effective at Town Hall 8. If you guys can master this, you can take out a very wide variety of base types with this one. So that's the breakdown for this base, you guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay and watch how it all worked out. Alright, so let's dive on in here. So minions go down first just to start that funnel, so he's got a nice little push. He drops the balloon, just that one little level 5 balloon. Great when you can get a 1-to-1 trade with level 5 balloons. And the barbarian is going to go down in that gap there in just a second. Oh, I guess that's a goblin. Never mind, I thought it was a barbarian. Maybe it was one of each. 3 golems go down. My apologies, in the base breakdown portion of this video I said it was 2 golems, but it is 3. Alright, so 3 go down. There's the rage and the heal to deal with the clan castle troops. Nice call, especially since that Barb King was over there as well. There's a lot of DPS coming in from point defense, but his troops are able to push through it very nicely. Loses a few wizards there to that big bomb, but still has a whole bunch up in the right hand side, that compartment over there. Witches up there as well, and here come the hogs in on the left side of the base. Notice all of those defenses over there are completely distracted by the golem and the Barb King over there, so those hogs aren't taking any damage in at all from this early point defense. And at this point, look at this. The golem's still tanking off over there on the right. The hogs are coming in on the left. There's another golem coming in over there. Tons of DPS. He's got wizards all over this base. A witch is still up. The Barb King is still up. Couple of hogs. Completely destroyed this base. Overwhelmed it. The main issue when you're going up an expanded base like this is, generally speaking, going to be time. The defenses are so spread out that it's usually not too difficult, as long as you have good luck with traps. It's not too difficult to take out the defenses because there's not a lot to protect each other. But time is definitely an issue with a lot of these bases. But nWo brought a great composition to push very quickly through that base, and one of the keys is to make sure you don't leave any garbage buildings behind you along the way, so your army doesn't have to walk all the way back to where it started to get those bases. That can be a time killer sometimes. So there you go, guys. That was the highlight attack from iKonik War 108 by nWo for Life, who just graduated from Town Hall 8dom. He is going to be at Town Hall 9 now. So the next replays you see of his will be bringing a little more of a thump at Town Hall 9. Congratulations on the upgrade. All right, you guys. Until next time, this is Turn 56, and keep on clashing.